Assalamu alaikum. This is C programming lecture number 7. We talk today about iterations or for loops. I told you how to use the while, infinite and finite loops. Now we will use for loops. As I said before regarding the if and switch statements, they are equivalent, and you can use if and you can use switch to solve any problem. Okay, but there are some small differences between if and switch statement. Same here for the for loops and while loops. Both of them can be used to solve any problem. At the same time, there are some small differences between the for and the while loop. Today we'll talk about for loop. As you see in this picture, this is the flow chart for the loop. If you have a program, this is the start. You have some data entry to here. You have a condition. If this condition true, you will do the task and go back again, check the condition. Still true, go forward and do task and continue. Still true, do the task, come back again, check the condition. False, exit from the loop and continue the program or end. Now the for loop, like the while loop, you can use break statement to stop the flow, to exit from the loop. Now, how we can write the for loop? Another way, the syntax of the for loop. I see you have to write for, small letter, not capital letter, brackets, like the while, like the if, like the switch. At the beginning we have initialization, then semicolon, not comma, then condition, then semicolon, then update. That means inside the for loop here in the condition we have 3 different lines. The first line to start the counter, to initialize it, example I equal to 1, then condition, example I less than or equal to n as example, update I plus plus. If this condition is true, the flow will go inside the loop, do the instruction block, then come back again to update the counter by 1, then come back to condition. If the condition is still true, it will go do the block, then come to the update the counter by 1, then check condition again, still true, do update the counter, check, true, do update the counter, check, true, do update the counter, check, false, exit them from the for loop and continue your program. Don't forget that you have not to write semicolon here after this bracket. That means if you write semicolon, you are separating the if of the for loop from its block, and this is not correct. Like the main, like the switch, like the if, like the else, everything. Don't write semicolon here. This is just an example. As you see here, we have hash include stdio.h, some comment here. We have integer main, start of the main, end of the main, declare a variable called next number, declare another variable called sum. By default both of them will be 0. Declare a counter, name is count, type is integer, and total numbers as integer. Ask user to enter the total numbers, scan the total number as integer, give it to total numbers, start the loop for counter equal 0, count equals 0. As you see this is initialization. That means this line will be executed once only. Then check the counter value. Is it less than or equal? Is it less than total numbers? If yes, scan next number, save it to next number, sum plus equal next number. That means sum equals sum plus next number. Then come back again, add 1 to the counter, check the value of the count still less than total numbers. If yes, scan next number, add next number to the sum, then come back to counter again, add 1 to the counter, then check the condition still true, ask user to enter a number, scan this number, save it in next number, then add this number to the sum, then come back again, add counter 1 to counter, check the counter. If false, it will exit from the for loop and continue to print the sum and the mean. And you know that the mean, which is the average, equal to sum divided by count. In this example, guys, in this example we will ask user to enter number of numbers. Say that we want to add or to sum numbers from 1 to 10 as example. So the total number will be 10. We will start the counter from 1 or from 0. Then ask user to scan the first number. I'm sorry, here is not adding numbers from 1 to 10. No. If the user enter a number, a total number which is 10, that means we want to enter 10 numbers. So I will scan the first number, then I will add the first number to the sum. Then we will ask user to enter next number, add it to the sum. Third number, fourth number, fifth, sixth, until reach the 10th number. So we are adding or making the sum for these 10 numbers. At the end, we'll print the sum and the average, which is the mean. The mean, we know that it's sum divided by the variable counter. And this here we should take care, guys. Why? Because we started the counter from 0, as you see. So the counter should be less than the total number, not less than or equal. So we will add the 0 number first, second, third until 9th. The 10th number excluded. Why? Because from 0 to 9 there are 10 numbers. You can also surely start the counter from 1 and make this one less than or equal to total number. Now, guys, as you see, this is just simple comparison between the for loop and the while loop. As I told you, they are totally equivalent to each other. That means if you have a problem and you want to solve the problem, you can use the while loop, you can use the for loop. But sometimes you feel that while loop more easier, and sometimes you feel that for loop more easier. It depends on the problem you have, but surely you can use both of them. Remember that in the for loop, from the syntax of the for loop, we have to start by initialization. Then we have a condition, then we have update. So this is the way how we can write the for loop. In this case, no need to take care about the initial condition. We have it. No need to take care about the condition. We have it. No need to take care about the update. We have it. But in the while loop here, guys, you have to take care about all of them. When and where and how you can write them. I'm talking about the counter, updating, I'm talking about the condition and the initialization. So it's very important. Now, as you see, this is the while loop flowchart. This is the for loop flowchart. They are same. Initialization counter in the while loop, you should do it by yourself. In the for loop, it's from its syntax by default. Then check the condition here. If the condition is true, do add 1 to the counter, then execute the block, then come back again. In the for loop, execute the block of commands, advance to counter. That means the counting or incrementing the counter, it will be done by default from the syntax of the for loop. But here you have to write it by yourself. Again, initialization, initialize the counter, check the condition. If the condition is true, add 1 to the counter in the while loop, check or execute the block, then come back again. Check the condition, still true, do, still true, do. Once the condition becomes false, get out from the while loop and continue. Same thing for the for loop, initialize the counter, check the condition. If true, do. Again, check condition, true, do. then check condition false, exit from the for loop and continue. Again, in this example, I'm just showing you the difference between the for loop and the while loop. As you see in the for loop, here we have count equal to 0. You have to write the for loop in this formal way. Start by condition, initializing the condition, the counter, sorry, initializing the counter, then check the counter, is it less than total number? This is the condition, then update the counter. This is by default, by syntax. This is the formal way how you can write the for loop. This is the start of the loop, this is the end of the loop. If the condition is true, do this one. Then add 1 to counter, check the condition still true, do count, check, do count plus 1, check, do count plus 1, check, do count plus 1, false, exit from for loop and continue your program. See, in the if you want to make the same example using while loop, you have to start by initialization the counter value, count equal to 0 or 1 before the while loop. Inside the while loop, ask user to enter the number, add number to sum, then add 1 to counter. You have to write this statement by yourself. So how it works, counter equal to 0, is counter less than total number? If yes, go inside scan sum, add 1 to counter, check, still true, do, add 1 to counter, still true, do, still true, do, still true, do, false, exit from the loop and continue. So this is the initialization in both statements. This is check condition and this is the update. Now how we can write infinite loop using a while or for. I told you in the while loop, while 1 as example, not 1, any non-zero number represent true. So if you write while 1, while minus 1, while 10, any non-zero number, it should be true. In the for loop, here we have, as you see, by syntax or by default, here we have to initialize the counter. We can remove it. And here we have a check condition, logical condition, or logical statement. Write 1, and 1 represent true. And regarding the updating, you can remove it. In this case, that means no need for the initialization, no need to update the counter, because it's what? It is infinite loop. It will run continuously. Or also you can remove the 1. By default, it will be infinite loop, because this space means true, and true always true, like the 1. So it will run to infinity. In this case, if you have a while loop or for loop, infinite loops, what you should do to stop the loop? You can stop from the compiler itself, or write if statement. If something happen, break. Break, as I told you, when you write break inside if, break, it will break the loop where you place the if. So use break statement to stop that loop. So the break statement implements the exit loop primitive, causes flow of control to leave a loop block immediately. If it is while or for, they are same. As you see here, if we have break in this example here, we have for 1 infinite loop, scan a number. If this number equal to 0, break. That means if this become true, you should run this one, which is break. Break belongs to if, and if placed inside this for loop. That means if the if condition is true, break, it will break the flow from here, go outside the loop and continue. Now in this example, just show you how to print out a section of the ASCII table. As example, you can write for ch equal low. Ch is a counter and the initial value it's low. Then ch less than or equal to high. Then ch plus plus. You have to declare the low and the high, and so on. In this example number 1, let me delete the solution. Write C program to print all natural numbers from 1 to n using for loop. And let me show you how we can use the for loop. Now we are ready to solve this example using for loop. So again, write C program to print all natural numbers from 1 to n using for loop. Now n should be entered by user. Again, as we solved the previous example using while, again we have to indicate declare the integer, which is n. And surely, because we have a loop and we have to count from 1 to n, we need a counter. You can name it I or count or anything. Say I as example. Then we have to ask user by printing a message, clear message. Please enter n. Go to next line, outside semicolon. Now we have to scan this number, which is an integer. So %d outside. Don't forget, don't write keep space after the %d or before. Outside the quotation you have to write comma and the address, and the name of the variable is n. Outside semicolon to end the line. Now we know what is the value of n. Now we have to start the loop from 1 to n. So using the while loop, just to remind you, in the while loop you have to write while the condition say that our counter value less than or equal to n as example. And this is the start of the while loop, this is the end of the while loop. Now in this case I should be initialized. You have to write here equal to 1. And now we want to print the number. Which number? From 1 to n. That means we will print the value, the current value of the counter. So print f. We want to print the counter value, which is an integer, followed by maybe 1 space or 2 spaces outside, from where I will get this number, from the value of n. Now, how this will work? Again, currently the value of I equal to 1. Say that the user will enter 5 for the value of n. Is I, which is 1, less than or equal to n, which is 5? Yes. Print the value of n? No. It should be the value of the counter, which is I. Print the value of the counter, which is I, 1. Then it will go back to here. I still 1. 1 less than n? Yes. It will print another 1. So it will print once. And this is not correct. Why? Because after printing the value of I, we have to update the value of I. So we can write I equal to I plus 1 or I plus plus. Now let me show you how it works. Run the program, it works. Enter, say 5, it will print 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. No, 6 outside the range, it will not be printed. But the last value of I will be 6. Now see, when this is 5, it will print 5. Come back again, I will become 6. Is 6 less than or equal to 5? No, it will exit from the loop and go to here. Let me print here the end. Print statement, show you the end of the program. Say end, go to next line, and before it \n to skip one line before, and here's semicolon. Now run the program, and this is, say that 10. Please enter n. This is 10. We will print the natural numbers from 1 to 10. Now how we can change this one for the for loop? See, we will write here, instead of while for, here inside we have to start initialization. We can write I equal to 1, semicolon, not comma. In this case, guys, we have to delete this one. No need to initialize it here. I less than or equal to n. After this one, write semicolon. Now update I plus plus or encounter. By the way, you can use the for loop by incrementing the I or decrementing the I. It's up to you. Depends on the problem. In this case, by syntax or by default, I plus plus, you should remove it from here. And these are the differences between the while and for loop. Now this is the same exactly. Run the program. Please enter n. Say that 7. It will print numbers from 1 to 7. And example number 2, as you see here, we have to write a program not to print the numbers from 1 to n. We want to add to find the summation of these natural numbers from 1 to n using a for loop. So we'll use the same example number 1, and then we will change something here or edit the program. So again, we have to ask user n, so declare n and I, print message, please enter n, scan the n. Now we have to write same loop for I equal 1, start from 1, check the condition, if true, do this one. Now we don't want to print the counter value. We want to add sum equal the old sum plus something. Now see, we will at the beginning add 1 to the sum. By default, sum will be 0. So we'll add 1 to 0. Then we'll add 2 to the sum. Then we'll add 3 to the current sum or the previous sum. Then 4 to the previous sum. Then 5 to the previous sum. Then 6, then 7 until reach n. That means you are always adding the counter value to the sum. So write I here. That's it. Now we want to print the sum inside the loop or outside the loop. If you want to print the sum, the current sum always step by step, when I equal to 1, when I equal to 2, write print message inside the for loop. But in our case, we want to print the final sum. It should be outside the loop. Now here print, say we can say that the sum of natural numbers from, as example, from 1 to the n, which is an integer, equal to the result, which is an integer. Then go to next line. Outside the first one will be the counter value. No, it should be the n value. The second one, it should be the sum value. Outside will be semicolon. And don't forget to declare the sum as integer here or long integer. It's up to you. Like sum here. By default, the value will be 0. No need to write equal to 0. Now how this works? Again, I 0, sum 0, n 0. User will enter the value of n, say that 5 as example. I equal to 1. Is 1 less than or equal to 5? Yes. Sum equal old sum, which is 0, plus I, which is 1. Now 1 plus 0 will become 1. Then I become 2. 2 less than 5? Yes. Sum equal 1 plus 2, which is 3, and so on, and so on, and so on, until reach n equal 6. 6 less than or equal to 5? No. It will exit, print the result, print the end, and then return 0, then stop. So let us run the program and check the result. So I want to add numbers from 1 to 5 as example. So I will write 5, n equal to 5. I think the summation from 1 to 5 will be 15. The sum of natural numbers from 1 to 5 equal to 15. End. Example number 3. Write C program to generate the multiplication table of a number which is n entered by user using a for loop. As you see, if the user enter 9, we want to print 9 multiplied by 1 equal 9, and so on until reach 10. As you see, in this example, let me make zoom to show you. As you see, we'll print 9 multiply or 9 star 1 equal 9. 9 star 2 equal 18, 9 star 3 equal 27, and so on until reach 10. So see, the left number is one value, which is 9, fixed value, which is 9, entered by user, say n. Then followed by star, then followed by something will be started from 1 until reach 10. That means it will be a counter, and the counter value initially will be 1, then add 1 to 1 will become 2 until reach 10. Then followed by equal, and then the 9 here, the right number will be the result of 9 multiplied by 1. So we need loops. How we can do that? I'll show you. Say we want to ask user to enter the number. We need a counter, no need for the sum in this example. So let me delete the sum here. Print, please enter n, scan the number and save it in n. Then we have to start a loop for I equal to 1, I until reach n, so I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, and here we have to just print what? The message. What is the message? I will show you. Print f. We want to print, as you see here, we want to print the number, which is 9, entered by user. It represents n. So we will print the value of n. So print a number, which is integer, followed by star, followed by another number, which is integer, followed by equal to a number, which is an integer also. Then go to next line. Now outside the quotation, from where I will get this number, as you see, it's 9999999, and the 9 entered by user as n. So it will be n, the value of n. Then the next number, it is the counter value. Why? Because it will start 1, in next cycle or iteration it will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, 7, until reach 10. So it will be the counter value, which is I, comma, the third number, it is the value or the result from this equation, which is I multiplied by n, entered by user. Or if you want the same message exactly, it's n multiplied by 1. It doesn't matter because we wrote n here, I here, and this is I multiplied by 1. So the compiler will calculate the value of this equation, then print it here outside semicolon. And in this case, no need to print a message here like this. Run the program to show you the result. Now say that I want the multiplication table of 5. Say this is 5. Sure. So we will see 5 multiplied by 1 equal 5, 5 multiplied by 2 equal 10, and so on. We did a mistake. What this mistake? As you see, the multiplication table here stop at 5, stop at n, while it should stop at 10. So we have to go back to the loop, and instead of writing n here, write 10. Run the program again. Say this is multiplication table of 5 from 1 to 10. As you see, this is the 5 multiplied by 1 equal 5, 5 multiplied by 2 equal 10, and so on until reach 10. So the counter value will start from 1 to 10, not from 1 to n like previous examples. Take care about that. Now the class work, guys. Class works. In the class work number 1, let me show you the class work. This is just an example taken from one of the mechanical engineering subject to show you how to solve mechanical engineering solutions or problems, how to program the solution using C language. This is two-link robot. So the two-link robot arm system shown in figure undergoes a rotation around Z-axis. This is XY plane and this is the Z-axis. The new XY plane coordinates of the joint B, this point, X and Y, X equal L cosine alpha plus M cosine beta, Y equal L sine alpha, M cosine beta. That means the L value and the M value should be entered by user. The alpha and beta should be entered by user. So give me the L and M, give me the alpha and beta, I will calculate the XY using this C program. The problem is write a main program to do the following. So we have a main program. In the main program, we have to prompt users to enter the value of L and M in meters. They should be greater than 0. This is very important. If you have a problem like this, guys, I recommend that you should start doing it step by step. Don't try to do everything together. No, do it step by step. The first step, prompt user to enter the value of L and M. Then check them. They are valid or not. If they are greater than 0, valid. Less than 0 or equal to 0, not valid. You have to ask user to print them again or enter them again. So they are floats. Surely the length of the joint or the link, it will be float. So we will write, remove n here. No need for the n. Maybe we need the counter I. Keep it. Right here, float. A float, we have, say that L capital, and we need the M, say M capital, it's up to you, M capital or small, it's just a name, and we need alpha, say AL, and we need beta, say BE. all of them floats. The result x and y, you can use them as double, it's up to you, because these values calculated and maybe we need more space for them. So write double x comma y, and we need the counter if we have a loop I. Now print message to ask user to enter the value of L and M. Please enter L and M in meters. You can write a note for the user, they should be greater than 0. Now check the value of them. Let me delete this one. Scan the value of the first one, which is a float, followed by another float. The first one given to the L, second one given to and M. So now we know the value of L, we know the value of M. Now we will check them. If the value of L less than or equal to 0, that means not valid, or not and, because one of them not correct, we have to ask again. So M less than or equal to 0. If this is true, what we'll do, we will ask user to enter them again. So I will copy the print scan message again, paste them here, keep this scan inside the if statement, and make the message clear. So please enter L and M in meters, and again greater than 0, and scan them again. Now how this will work, the user will read this message, he will enter the values of L and M. If one of them less than or equal to 0, we have to ask them to enter again. But because I used if statement, that means if the user here enters again one of them less than or equal to 0, according to my algorithm here, it will accept it and continue, and this is wrong. So we have to do again, go back from here, not to here, we have to go back from here to check again the new values are valid or not. So to do that, it should be while. So while it will repeat check again and again and again and again. Again guys, the user will read this message, he will enter some values, check the values. If one of them not correct, ask user to enter them again and go back to here. Still one of them not correct, ask them to enter again. Still not correct, ask user to enter them again. Once this is true, that means they are valid or correct, go out from the while loop and continue your program. So the first step done. Next step, keep asking the user to input the alpha and beta in degrees. They should be converted to radians. What that means? That means keep asking the user. That means we have to write infinite loop to ask alpha and beta. That means we will, once we indicate the L value and the M value, the R will be fixed, then we will change the alpha, we will enter the alpha and beta, the B will be in new position, then enter new alpha, new beta, B and B will be in new position, enter alpha, enter beta, B will go to another position, enter new alpha, new beta, B will go to another position. That means he wants us to print the final position. Keep asking the user to enter the alpha and beta in degrees. Don't forget that alpha and beta, it's easy for user to enter them in degrees, but to use them inside the program, you have to convert them to radian. Then calculate and print out the final coordinate XY after applying rotations using different alpha and beta angles entered by user. So now here, okay, we can write while or for. It's up to you. Say that for. How we can write for? We can write infinite loop for by keep the increment, the initial condition nothing, semicolon, and then he write 1, then semicolon, nothing to decrement. This is the start loop, this is the end of the loop. Now inside the loop, we want to ask user to enter alpha and beta. So again, you can copy this one, and paste it here, and please write enter alpha and beta, alpha and beta in degrees, and degrees. Now scan them as floats. The first one will be AL, second one will be beta BE. Now we know the values of alpha and beta. After know the value of alpha and beta in the first iteration, we have to write the equation x equal the L multiplied by cosine alpha AL. But remember that AL entered by user in degrees. This function needed in radians. So you have two options. The first option you can write here AL equal the old AL multiplied by pi. We can use the m underscore pi, which is the mathematical built-in pi in C, divided by 180, like this, and do the same for beta. Or no need, keep the initial value as it is, but write here, cut these and put them here inside the equation itself, inside the cosine itself. This is how we can do it without affecting the initial value or the current value. Semicolon here. Do the same thing for what? The equation not completed yet. So L cosine alpha plus m cosine beta plus, same thing, to be m multiplied by cosine beta. Same thing for beta, multiply pi m underscore pi divided by 180. And repeat for the y, but using sign, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. This should be y, and according to equation, it will be L sine m sine. So it will be L, this is sine, and here will be sine. Now this is the current x, the current L. Go back again here, still true. Print new alpha, new beta, then calculate a new coordinate system x and y. Then go back to here, still true, do. Come back, still true, do, still true, do. It will run for infinity. That means running continuously. Go back to question to see how we can stop the loop. Calculate and print final position. Program should stop if the entered alpha or beta is equal to 9999 minus. Alpha or beta, one of them. That means before, come back to here, check the condition, which is true. If alpha value equal to minus 999, or why or? Because written here alpha or beta, or beta equal to minus 99, equal to minus 99. If this is true or this is true, what we will do? Just break. Just to remind you guys, break belongs to if, and if placed inside the for loop, and this loop is infinite loop. That means if this is true, execute break. It will break the flow from here. It will go to here and continue to here and then to here. Now after doing rotations, we want to print the final one. That means before after the for loop, print f. We will print the final x and y. So we can write the final position is, we can write here a number which is a float, comma, another number which is a float, then go to next line, outside, semicolon. From where I will get the first number, it is x value, comma x, second one, comma y. But remember that x and y declared as double. That means write LF here, LF here. And second thing, we want to control number of decimal places. So we can write dot 2 as example here, and dot 2 as example here. Now let me show you the result, we have a problem here. In this line, x equal L cosine theta plus M cosine beta. Okay guys, that means there is something wrong here, but the problem, the equation is correct 100%. I think I forgot to include the math library. Yes, we can Ctrl C, Ctrl V here to copy and add the math library, attach or include the math library. Run the program again. Please enter L and M. Say that L is -5 by mistake and M is 6. See, please re-enter them. See, -6 again and 5 again by mistake. Still ask me. Now let me write 1 and 2, which is correct. Now please enter alpha. Say alpha 30 45, then again 50 90 as example, then again 23 45. Now I want to stop. -9 9 9 and 45. One of them -9, that means it should stop. After stopping, it will print the final position. See, the final position is 1.57 for x, 2.4 in y. Remember that if this condition is false, if this condition is true, break, it will break. Okay, and remember that the new alpha and the new beta, which is -999, not considered here in this equation, because after reading the value of alpha and beta, the opposite. In this, if this is true, that means it will break. But unfortunately, the value -999 considered in these equations if this is the case. So guys, it's supposed that this break statement not here. It should be after the scan directly. Why? Because I don't want to consider this angle and calculate and affect the x and y, because I want to stop. So in this case, read the value of alpha and beta. If the value of alpha and beta, one of them -99, don't continue. Don't affect the x and y value. From here, break. It will go to here directly and continue. It will print the final result, correct result. This is the final solution. Surely you have to write some comments to show the user or anyone want to read the example or the program, what you are doing here or there by typing or writing some comment. Now, classwork number 2. Let me zoom it. We have to calculate the Euler number. Euler equal this summation from 0 to infinity of 1 over k factorial. And you know that it's 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 factorial, and so on and so on. By the way, when you write 1 over factorial of 0 is 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. And same here, guys. 1 factorial is 1. And same and so on. So how we can write this program? Write the program that calculates the Euler number using the formula above. We know the formula. The final value should be 2.718. Store the Euler number as a double and compute it. Then print it with a given precision of 6 decimal places. Calculation should continue until the difference between the current estimate and the previous estimate in between 10 to the power -5 and 10 to the power -10. And this is the flow chart, as you see. How we can do it. Okay. Again, in this exercise, we need 1 over k factorial. That means we have a counter name is k, and k should be start from 0. It's okay. And the final result will be float. We can say that E. Say that the estimate, the current estimate or estimate, and according to the question should be double. Okay. We want to ask user to no need to ask user when we should stop or the value of k, because we know the value of k will start from 0 until infinity, and the stop condition, it depends on the difference between the current estimate and the previous estimate. I will solve it later. So let me do the following. Now we have to start a loop. we want for loop, and this loop will be infinite loop, so we can write here nothing, semicolon 1, semicolon nothing. Then no need to print anything here, and let me remove all of these. Okay, now we have to start. Now we need a loop, and this loop, let me go back to the question again, show you. Again, this loop starts from counter from 0 to infinity. And each time what we are doing, we are adding 1 over k factorial to the summation. So we have to declare a new variable called summation. The summation here is the value of E, the estimate, ES. And currently it is 0. So we can write here ES equal the old ES plus 1 divided by factorial. Let us use the factorial built-in function by write factorial of the number, which is k. But remember that 1 it's integer, and factorial it is an integer. Integer divided by integer give you integer. That means you will lose the fraction. So better to make it dot 0 to make this one float. If this is float, we know that float is communicable. That means 1 as a float divided by anything to give you a float. Semicolon here. And k value should be incremented to go to next one. If you keep k 0, it will come back again, factor of 0, again. So after doing this, we will write k plus plus. That means k equal k plus 1. Or, because of we have for loop, right here k plus plus. If you want to be sure that k equal to 0, no problem, write k equal to 0 from here. So k equal to 0, nothing here, condition 1 represent a non-zero number, which is true, k plus plus, like this. Okay. After that, we can print the value of the estimate. We can print the ES equal to reserve a space for a double with 6 decimal places as written in the question. So dot 6, then go to next line. From where I will get it? From the current ES outside. It's okay. If I will run the program, it will not stop. It will keep going to the end and not stop. See, run program. We have a problem here. The main function. We have a warning implicit w factorial. Guys, I changed the browser because I have a problem for factorial. I don't know why in the C compiler, online C compiler, factorial not working, or the C compiler not finding the factorial definition. So I changed to the child. Okay, now if I will run the program will not print result, and it will keep running to infinity because we have infinite loop. As you see here, it will run for infinity. Let me stop it first. Now, just to show you what happened, let me print here the estimate value. So say that the estimate, say that ES as example equal to a double number LF, then go to next line from where I'll get the value from ES. Just to show you again, this is then we have the end. Run the program, we will never get result. Still working. It will work for infinity. How we can stop the program? Let me go back to the question and see. Calculation should continue until the difference between, forget what is the difference. Okay? Say that D is in between 10 to the power of minus 5 and 10 to the power of minus 8. So forget what's the definition for the difference. Say it's D. So let me say that here, define or declare D. Okay? And here, for after calculating the ES, let me check the D. If we write if the difference is less than or equal to power of 10 to the power of minus 5. If the difference less than or equal to 10 to the power minus 5 at the same time, and the d greater than or equal to the 10 to the power of minus 8. So 10 to the power of minus 8. If the difference between this one or this one and this one at the same time, what I will do, I will break the loop. Now, if I will run the program will ask about d not defined, as you see here. But because it's infinite loop, we can do that. So let me define here. Initial value is 0, and difference will never become in this range because declared and initially it's 0 and it will be 0 always. Now let me calculate the ES and define now, before the if statement, define the d. Let us say that d equal absolute value. Why absolute? Because the estimate and the previous, we don't know which one is the greater than the second one. We can write, just to be sure it's not negative, write absolute. So ES minus the previous one. Let's say that the previous one is ESP. What's the current value? We have to declare it here, ESP. Why I used ESP? Because when you calculate the ES, the new ES will delete the old one. How we can keep the old one? We need another variable, say ESP. Okay, so calculate ES, check is the or calculate the value of d. Then check the value of d. Is it in the range? If the in the range, break. Not in the range, what we'll do? Next step. Next step what? Say that the previous one equal the current one, like this. That means before come to here, save the current value in the ESP. Then when you come to here, the ES will be changed, but the old one saved in ESP. Then you can use it to calculate difference. You forgot to write semicolon here also. Save the program, run your program. It doesn't break. Let me stop the program and check our program. Why? Because it's always here, it's always infinite loop. It will go, it's always true. That means it will go to infinite loop. Now guys, as you see, it will never stop because the value of the k 0, and it will be 0 always. So we have to write k equal to 0, start from 0, and we should increment k by 1 plus plus. Now run the program. The estimate equal 2.718282. Now a question is, how we can know number of iterations we did to reach the final result? Is it after 2 cycles, 2 iterations, 5 iterations? How we can know? We'll print, let me print the value of what? The counter itself. So by printing the value of the counter, we can say that number of iterations or cycles equal to a number which is an integer. Then go to next line. From where I will get this integer? From the value of k plus 1. Why k plus 1? Semicolon, because we started k from 0. So when k equals 0, it's cycle number 1. When k equal 2, cycle number 3, and so on. So k plus 1. Run the program. See, the estimate equal 2.718282 after iterations of 10. Thank you so much.